Hello, this is your instructor, MLA, and we're in week 6, and I'm going to talk about paraphrase examples. So here we go. Another example of paraphrasing. So to remind you what the definition is, it's when you take an idea that you read or hear, but here we're dealing with reading, and translate it in your own words while keeping all or most of the details. So this is very important. Summary is also like that. You take, but it's different because in a summary you don't give the details of the thing. You just give the general idea. But that's not paraphrase. Paraphrase, you keep the details. You just say things in your own words, basically. Um, so step one to paraphrase is you locate need for support, and the instructor or the peer review will tell you where does your argument need more backup from data, for example. So so Gonzo wrote something like, "The third time the dream came true was when I accepted in my time as a master's student in Tamil literature, culminated my graduate from highbrow elite Ivy League, was torture and a failure, and that I was okay with that, and that becoming a postman seemed like a lot more fulfilling because from the better salary, from the better salary than the teachers, I can afford to pamper my family and myself. In other words, I hope the snob in me has died and the human has emerged." So I would say that I would question Gonzo. Hey, can you prove that as a postman you can make more money than a teacher? And so where's the evidence? So Gonzo sent me this table. This is from the National Association of Letter Carriers, another word for mailman. And you can see there that at the bottom there it says years 13, and if you look up you see 75,000 and 76,000. So basically means that after you put 13 years in a post office as a carrier, you make 75,000 K. But is that more than a teacher? And just to mention that when you cite, um, so the paraphrase would be, if you work as a postal carrier, you can make up to 75K per year after 13 years. So that idea I can take and shove it somewhere in that paragraph that I showed you first. This paragraph right here, somewhere. I'll have to modify, but I'm going to put it somewhere where it says that the better salary, somewhere there. Anyway, so as I was saying, this table was taken from the website of NACL, which is National Association of Letter Carriers, and the title of that document, it's a PDF file. It's called Letter Carrier Pay Schedules, and you can find it yourself if you Google Letter Carrier Pay Schedule. And so that's important to know because you'll have to cite after you paraphrase. So Portland teacher. Now it's kind of hard for me to read this uh, table, but I think what it says that a full-time teacher, which is very hard to become in Portland, that after 12 years of experience, you make 74, so slightly less than a mailman. But you also have to have a bachelor's degree, and as a mailman, you don't have to have a bachelor's degree. So that's a huge difference from some folks. And yeah. And where does this table come from? Oh, and so if I were to paraphrase the teacher's salary table, I would say that PPS, Portland Public Schools, promises to pay up to 73K with a simple bachelor's and 12 years of experience. And the source for this graph is from the Portland Public Schools website, pps.net, from 2022. The author is actually known as the Portland Public Schools. And so if you have the author, if you have an organization and you don't have the author of a specific document, most likely that organization is the author. But if there's no organization, then you would use the title. That's what I meant over there. And also give an example of how to cite that at the end. And so notice that I also give you a URL so you can just simply click and find. So after all this paraphrase, this is what it becomes. And just the yellow. After Greg from Harvard's torture, becoming a postman seemed a lot more fulfilling because the better salary of 76K, you should read, I made a mistake there, after 13 years versus the teacher's salary of 73K after 12 years. If you're lucky to get a full-time teaching job, a big if. I can afford and pamper my family myself. And in parentheses, I gave NACL because, and notice it at the end of that sentence, because that's the author, that's the organization that created that. So in conclusion, what should you do to paraphrase well? Find a problem spot in your argument, for example, where you need more data. Go read up and find that where that data is located using Google. Paraphrase the information that supports that data, and then you cite it. And then, of course, you edit for clarity and relevance. What else should you do this week? Discussion 6, reflect on the PowerPoint that you just seen. What surprise you found difficult or easy? That's due Friday. And quiz 6, I will create that and it will be on Blackboard. And that's due on Sunday. And also, don't forget to buy your vomit draft. Thank you.